2 tulip cardigans is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6. We need to complete a game of CHIMPS using just 2 towers. Today we're going to be doing this with the Superstorm and Etienne. And I've got a name for this 2TC combination. Storms and Dragons. Probably have slightly more reach across the entire track if we put you here. And Etienne's been given a nice buff for towers nearby Etienne, where they have a Monkey Village-esque effect of increasing their range once Etienne gets to level 2 and level 16. So with any 2TC with a hero, you preferably want to get your hero down as soon as possible so that you can get them to level 20 as soon as possible. I'm just hoping round 9 is not going to kick us in the teeth by needing us to be able to put down a upgrade on our Druid, but that's not going to be the case. Lovely. Okay, so Etienne, you're going to be here. Get as center in the track as possible, and you may need some repairs on your cloak. It could be storms and drones, storms and aliens, or I just think storms and dragons is the coolest. Now I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but the Superstorm damage actually matters when it comes to going up against the bad, which is kind of really need you in a place where you're going to be able to throw your Superstorms as much as possible. I was thinking down here originally, but then when the bad comes up here, it's not going to have as much reach. And I just hope, for the life of me, that I will be able to first not die to a yellow balloon, but secondly be able to chuck out a Superstorm when the bad is popped over here. With that being said, Druid Reach, Heart of Vengeance, along with Heart of Thunder, and then Druid of the Storm afterwards. Now the biggest upsets to this game will be the following. Mid-game, before we get Superstorm, along with rounds 98 and 100. Round 95 could give us some issues, but the other rounds for Superstorms will enable us to have a little bit of a breather because of its unique mechanic of, well, not unique, but one of the towers which have the unique mechanic of chucking back balloons. 28, not a problem. Heart of Thunder ensures that any lead that spawns on the field will not be a lead balloon in the near future. One big downside to having the ball lightning able to freeze balloons is that if Etienne's drones, or in this case Etienne's little dragons, are trying to attack a frozen balloon, well, they can't because they have the sharp damage type. Although with the bookworm skin or the Etienne skin, it would look like the damage type would be laser or plasma. But it's just skin differences, visual differences, nothing relating towards Bloons Tower Battle 2 where there are actual differences between skins of the heroes. Don't you worry, dear Druid. You will at some point get camo detection, but at this given point in time, only Etienne can take down the camofied behemoths. Speaking of which, are we going to take these down without needing the ability? That is going to be the case. No camo yellows fled away at the moment. Do we have the damage to take down this Moab without requiring the ability? I hope so, but if we do need to use the drone swarm ability, I won't be too surprised. But that is relatively good. And now Druid has the camo detection. In a lot of Superstorm 2-tower chimps runs, you are kind of forced to go towards Heart of Oak because of a particular round 76 problem. But in this case, we will be able to get the Superstorm before round 76, which means that all those regrow ceramics, will not be an issue whatsoever, just because we have the damage to deal with them. This particular combination has only been done on 2 maps, Logs and Spar Pits by yours truly. Drones are more powerful, so this should go down a tad bit sooner at this point. No, it seems to be the same point at the moment, So, while these can pop an extra layer, does that mean damage or pierce? Layer gives me the inkling of damage. Now, one thing we do need to watch out for is the transition between round 62 and 63. We do need to use at least one of Etienne's abilities by the time round 62 comes along. But we don't want to be in a situation where we can't use any abilities because of the swarms of ceramics that are on round 63. For context, I only did this 2TC originally on spar pits, not originally on logs where it was originally completed. I'm honestly surprised we've not failed a single round yet, but that's just the power in which we have at this given point in time. Which sometimes in a run, the most difficult aspect is not late game, but mid game. Or if it's neither of those two, then surely early game is the most difficult aspects. I'm thinking of any Flying Fortress 2TC where you don't even have Spectra up and running. Yeah, we're chucking them back quite nicely, but are we able to do all the damage in which we need to do? But then again, with Heart of Thunder, it does able to attack more targets if there are more targets on the screen to be able to leap our thunder from one point to another. It is really, really cool. Okay, regrow ceramics, not a thing I would like to go up against. I was gonna say this could be our first failure, but they didn't regrow out of control, which is very, very nice. Okay, you. I may use... well, that was stupid timing. Okay, the BFB is popped, but not... I should have unleashed the ability a bit later on in the round when we were able to do more damage, but we managed to do it nonetheless. Oh god, these regrow zebras! Every single shattering shell 2TC nightmare. Sometimes on its own, but most of the time going up towards blue incineration. Okay, this is a round in which I fear, round 62. We're going to need to unleash hell upon these heathens because all of these purples are a clear indicator that we may not be able to go through this scenario without an ability or two. I saw the yellow balloon and I thought I was going to die by it.
It's not as massive as I thought it would be.
Chunk them back. Oh no, we might be screwed there actually. Ball lightning doing something against the first lot of purple, ceramic balloons, for goodness sakes. Okay, I don't want to really lose this attempt. Don't. Thank you. I think that should do it. Hopefully, unleash the other ability as well. Need to keep these at bay. I may have screwed myself around 64 though by using those abilities when I did. Oh gosh, yeah, this is not looking great to be honest. It's these fortified ones I'm concerned about. Please, can we get the ability back? Thank you very much. And... oh, that blue balloon gave me a few scares there, but that's okay. So from this point onwards, hopefully things will be smooth sailing now that we've gone past the early 60s. Is that going to be the case, or am I misleading myself? I hope that's not the case. And Heart Thunder also comes out of a ball of lightning, which is pretty nice. Okay, are we going to be able to do this without needing the level 10 ability? Without summoning the big fat dragon in the sky? And that is going to be a no, Captain. We're going to need the big fat dragon. Yeah, the tornadoes have frigid as a damage type. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Yeah, equip one of the worst damage types for the tornadoes. It was fine the way that it was with plasma. 65, going down a bit better since we used the level 10 ability. I kind of wish that round would have lasted a bit longer, but it's just because of our coverage of the track. Fortified Moab. Still a little bit concerned about them, not going to lie. And it's because sometimes we're not able to get the tornado attack out to halt their progress. Right, ability time. Activating in 3, 2, now. That's not how it goes, is it? Please. Really? Hello, old friend. Hopefully this will do it. A little bit more initial damage on these, and hopefully none of them get past two. Oh, if that thunder didn't catch them, we would have lost that attempt. So there are still some rounds in the mid game that are going to give us annoyances. Oh, great. They come in different forms. This time, regrow camo yellow. Right, I'm going to use the level 10 ability because this is utter ass. You either first, or you have divide and conquer, in which two of them go yellow eyes, and then zone defense, where you have green, blue, and yellow eyes. Or first, where they're all blue. Okay, so blue is first. This could be interesting with all of the regrow white balloons on this round. Or we may have the power to take them all out. Hopefully we don't need to use any of Etienne's abilities on this round, please. Pretty please. Pretty please. With a chocolate button up on top. You know, being Easter and all that. No, mini eggs are better. Actually, I've got a question for you. Cream eggs or mini eggs? For me, both. But if I were to have to choose between one or the other, it would be mini eggs. Oh my god, we've got a regrow farm going on here, but it didn't last long and it wasn't as impactful as I thought it was going to be initially. Okay, summon additional little ones. Go to a BFB, please. There we go. And hopefully the rest of us should be able to deal with this. Thank you very much. No yellow balloons shall escape this track ever again. Hopefully. This is probably moments said before disaster. Okay, that's good. Take out that Moab. I think we could actually risk it a little bit here because of the fact we're so close to the Superstorm. Yeah, we've got it in the bag. We've got Zeus at our side. I've forgotten which update it was, but Ninja Kiwi buffed the damage that the Superstorm gives balloons, but it's only when it's able to chuck balloons back, so against the bad, it doesn't receive that additional damage which it got back in... Oh, I've forgotten which update it was now. 78... Gosh, all these ceramics just don't stand a chance against them. Right, are we going to suffer from purple balloons? No, because this Superstorm has the normal damage type, which is the best damage type you could... That Superstorm just instantly killed the ceramics before they even have a chance of appearing on the screen. Okay, so it's version 44 where the Superstorm's damage increased from 12 to 120. But is that any target, or is it just targets that it can actually chuck back? Right, it's time to make a coffee, everybody, or a tea, or a hot chocolate, or whatever it is that you're going to make. Perhaps you could even make a PhD, because remember, we are only damaging this thing with the super... No, we're going to use level 10 ability just to make this a little bit less of a painful experience. This is taking so long that we can use the level 10 ability twice on this round. How unheard of. What do you have on the field that enables you to pull this off twice? Well, I've got Etienne and the Superstorm. That's it. And the Superstorm is the only one that can really make impact on it unless I use one of Etienne's abilities. But even this is not enough, and no, I refuse to pay this. I want the maximum moolah as possible. Right, the ZMG is finally taken down. It's only been, well, a few wrinkles on my forehead grown later. Yeah, this is far less painful when the targets on the field aren't just ZOMGs. Actually, a comment I made about the tier 3 tornado damage type, but it was actually changed from normal to frigid, not from plasma to frigid. Although there was one change in which benefited the Druid of the Storm, and that was the tornadoes that it spawns out on can actually chuck back lead balloons, which is quite nice. But then at that point, wouldn't they be popped by the Heart of Thunder anyways? Right, you know the drill. Time to make yourself another hot drink or something. Or perhaps write an essay, or whatever it is that you do on a Tuesday evening. If you think round 85 is going to be painful, then wait until round 97. Have you got that kettle boiled yet? And no, I'm not purchasing this, even though there's no risk in leveling up Etienne using money. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm a greedy sob. Perhaps I may spend money on round 98, depending on how close Etienne is to level 20. Right, they've finally gone down. That only took me yet 2 more wrinkles grown on my forehead. But alas, the round is completed. Sometimes you may need to spend more time on a round to complete it, then rush through a round and recognize you can't actually go through the next round because you rushed the previous round, and then you can't do the next round because you rushed the previous round. I hope that all makes sense. Okay, Superstorm, you are gonna be my weapon of mass DDT destruction. But also chucking them back when they spawn out of a bad. Yeah, around 93, having the DDTs quite densely packed together is very nice because it only takes 1 Superstorm to chuck them all back. But if they're all spread out, then you might be more likely to encounter scenarios where you will not be able to blow them all back. Yeah, we don't have a Pierce issue here at the moment. But what about round 90? Well, not round 95, but 98 could be a small issue when it comes to Pierce cap and all that. Hopefully not. Okay, put you on strong for the time being. Hopefully Etienne is able to clear up everything else that's going on here. And you're just targeting the DDTs mainly. Bloody hell, they all went thanks to the Superstorm. You are brilliant against them. What's not put down about the Superstorm upgrades? It does grant this Druid's camo detection, which means that if we ever get the Druid Paragon, then it will be able to pop camo balloons by default, rather than needing a Ascended Shadow to grant camo detection for all Paragons on the field. But even if that wasn't the case, then the Spirit of the Forest would grant it anyways, because it's similar to the Glaive Lord for the Boomerang Monkey, where it can't detect camo balloons, but it can pop them with the orbiting glaives. I've nearly done a diploma. I best conserve the level 10 ability just in case I really need it at the start on round 98. Don't want to chance it, you know. It's weird how the Superstorm just has so much more damage than Etienne, but yet Etienne is one who's going to do most of the damage on round 100 against the bad. At this point, any monetary abilities like the Jungle's Bounty or from the support Chinook would not be activatable at all by now, just because of how long the round has gone on for. And yes, I did complete that diploma on how to pop a yellow balloon. Tip number 1, you don't. Here we go, and now on to one of the rounds of all time, and it is definitely what you call a round 98 scenario. Okay, chuck back the ZOMGs, put you on strong, chuck back the ZOMGs. Hopefully we can do this, delay their progress, but look at, oh my god, the Superstorm is being pierce capped, because the Superstorm did not fly off the screen like usual, it just stopped in its tracks, literally stopped in its tracks. Although it looks like we don't need to spend any money. Depends on how much pierce this is going to give us though, which is going to be a lot. Well, I'd rather prefer if the ZMGs were not all popped simultaneously, although we do have a single... Yeah, no, that's just not necessary. No spendings required here. And no spendings on you required. Fortified ETs, please be popped. Take twice as many hits, but please be popped. And that is that. Okay, round 100. Let's just summon everything. Once you are in the range over here, we will cast the ability and hopefully we'll get it back in time. Maybe this was not the best timing to use it because of this little... Oh, it's not affected by line of sight. Why do I think it was affected by line of sight? Don't ask me. Alright, another ability. It's important to use our abilities to the max when we can. Okay, hopefully this is not out of range, and hopefully when we get the ability back up and running, you will be once again in the range of Etienne's little dragons. Here we go, there's another usage. Its fins are bandaged, but it's good when the tail is bandaged. That is what we're looking out for, okay? Okay, not going to use the ability quite yet. The first ability of Etienne, so we need for you to come back down here and then use it when it's at its full means. Hopefully we can do it. Hopefully we can do it. Just need a little bit more damage, and that is the run. First attempt on round 100. Golly gosh. If you try and do this on Spar Pits, this is literally pixel perfect placement with both of your towers, and you need to ensure that the Superstorm is chucked onto the bad when it's just about pops and goes into DDTs and all that jazz. But that is a very, very, very interesting 2-tower chimps. It is not one that I would recommend because of the mid rounds like 62 and a few other rounds after that. Honestly thought round 61 could have been a pest, but it wasn't. It was not a pest. So that is nearly 1.9 million pops with the Superstorm. Not surprising when we actually get the Superstorm upgrade. And then Bookworm Etienne is only at nearly 144,000. Your main amount of damage was onto the bad. Like everything else, obviously if we upgraded you to level 20 as soon as we could, then you would have gotten a lot more damage, but I chose the greedy monetary path. But alas, folks, it can be done like this. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. That is a 2-tower chimps with over 100k left in the bank. And as you may see over here, when we go to my challenges and when we go to down to here, it has been done. It's just barely though. The bad literally is about to exit and get smaller when the bad is popped. Like that's how tight the management is when it comes to doing this combination on this map. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Please let me know what you thought of the video down in the comment sections below. And please be sure to use my creator support code whenever you are in the store. I always like to do this sort of stuff at the end of a video when it's not as impactful as, let's say, the beginning, the middle, stuff like that. I very rarely do, but I always prefer to have it at the end when the video is done and dusted and it's not as important. But please do use my creator support code whenever you're able to do so. I am thoroughly grateful to each and every single one of you. Okay, without further ado, thank you all so much. Sorry, without further ado, thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and have a happy Easter. Make sure to get your instas in while you can.